Hello everyone. Today I wanted to talk about the table partitioning function which is available in Microsoft SQL Server databases. And I would also like to quickly do a short demonstration which will help you see the utility of this beautiful feature available on the database. Table partitioning is a way to divide a large table into smaller, more manageable parts without having to create separate tables for each part. So basically what I am trying to say is that data in a partition table is physically stored in groups of rows, and these are called partitions, and each partition can be accessed and maintained separately. Now, since the data contained inside the table is broken into smaller subsets or smaller groups or chunks of data, it is easier for the system to manage this data and also to seek information out of these smaller chunks of data if a query with a proper where clause or a query with a proper filtering clause is executed. Now, in order to demonstrate what I just said, I will present to you two tables that I have created. Now let me quickly show you the structure of these tables, and you will notice that they are exactly identical to each other. I have just given the name random table to these tables, and if I execute this query, so you will notice that structurally these two tables are exactly identical and exactly similar, and as a matter of fact they contain the exact same data also, which means that there is ideally no difference between both of these tables that you are seeing in front of you, that is random underscore table, and the other table is random underscore table with partition. Now, as the name itself suggests, the second table is the table where I have actually created a partition. Now, if you look closely at the structure of this table, we have a table which has an ID field on it. This is the identity column of this table. Then we have a date ID column in it. Then we have an author ID and a price and edition details along with some random text. Now, since this is a dummy table that I have created just for demonstration purpose, the random text is really random text and I have really not put any meaningful value here. I was just trying to create some data using which I can perform this demonstration. Now, if you look at this data set, you will notice that it has a date ID field in it, and the way I have built this table is that I have inserted about 12,000 records for each date ID which is present in this table. Moving ahead, let us take a quick look and try to understand the number of records and date IDs available in this table. So if you look at this query, you will find that we are trying to calculate the count of records available across each of these date IDs. So we have written this query like select date ID, count star from random table, group by date ID, and then ordering the result set by date ID in the ascending order. So if you look at this data, you will notice that we have data starting from 2021-602 to 2020-04-29. Okay, and if you look at the record count, you will find that there are exactly 12,000 records across each of these dates. Now coming back to the original table structure, what I have done here is I have created a copy of this table which is a random table, and I have named that copy of the table as random underscore table with partition. And what I have done in this table, the second query that I have currently highlighted, what I have done in this particular table is that I have partitioned this table on date ID level. That means for every date ID present in this random table with partition, I have created smaller chunks of data, or I have distributed the data across these date IDs, and that is how the database is actually now storing and organizing the data for this particular table. Now the query in front of you is what I have used to create the table partition, and I am going to cover this creation of the partition on a table, syntax, and the way to create this partition in much more detail in a separate video. But if you want to quickly run through this syntax right now, I have provided a partition function, or rather created a partition function here with the name date_id_pf. Then I have created a partition scheme with the name of date_id_ps, and then this is where the actual partitioning activity happens. So if you notice here, we are actually creating a clustered index on this table which we intend to partition, and we are providing the column name on which this clustered index needs to be created, which is date id. And if you notice here, we have also provided the partition scheme that needs to be applied to this clustered index. So that basically means is that as soon as this clustered index is going to be created on the system, our data of the complete table is going to be organized on date id field value according to the partition scheme that we have created. And as soon as this index is created, which means that now our data is physically organized on the disk on the date id field data and the partition scheme that we have built, the system goes ahead and drops the index. Now before proceeding ahead, I would like to demonstrate that the data in both these tables is exactly identical, and for that I am going to execute a set of queries to prove this. First, we should look at the count of records in both these tables, and you will notice that it is exactly the same. Now going one step ahead, actually I am also going to execute this except query, so that I do a select star from random table except select star from random table with partition, and I also execute this query the other way around, so that effectively I am performing something like a minus b in set theory, and I am performing something like b minus a in set theory. And if the result of both these queries does not result into any records, that means that both of these tables are either blank, which is not the case since we have already verified the row counts, or the other inference can be that both of these tables are exactly identical in terms of the data they contain, and which is what we are observing here, since both the result sets of this query does not result into any rows. Now since we have established that the data contained in random table and random table with partition is exactly identical, let us move to the core of this demonstration, which is going to be around the performance benefit that you are going to get with the partitioning that you have just now performed on this table. Now let me first clear the system cache by executing these queries. Now the system cache is cleared. Let me now execute this query that you see in front of you. Here I am simply extracting the count of records against each of the data IDs. Let us wait for this query to respond back with data. And if you look closely, you will see that we have received the response in about 8 seconds of time. And this is basically the query that was executed on the partition table. Moving ahead, let us simply execute the very same query on the random table, which is the table that does not have the partition but still holds the same data. Now let us wait for this query to respond back with result and see how much time does it take to execute. You will notice that it takes about 7 seconds to respond back with result, which is, as a matter of fact, 1 second faster than what it took for the partition table to respond back with data, but more or less we can say that it's the same. Now if you look closely, both the queries that we executed just now kind of responded back with their results in about the same time. So the second query which we just now executed took about 7 seconds, and the query that we executed before this took about 8 seconds. And the reason why both of these queries took the same amount of time is because we are actually scanning the complete table to get to this result set. That means ideally the amount of reads are really not reduced in the queries that we have just now executed. Now let us move to the next set of queries that we intend to execute. If you notice the current query which is highlighted, you will find that this is still similar to the query that we had executed earlier, but with the only difference that we have actually added a date filter here, where we are restricting the set of records for which this date ID wise record of count need to be provided. So that basically means that we are not actually in this case going to scan the complete table to fetch the records, but instead we are only interested in the set of records which fall between these date IDs. Now if you notice, this query is being executed on the table that does not have any partition on it. So what the expectation here is that this query, once I execute it, the system will have to actually scan the complete table to be able to arrive at the result set, and hence ideally we expect that this query should take long time to execute as compared to the query that we intend to run next on the partition table. To validate this, let me first execute this query and let us wait for the result set to come by. So if you notice, we have received the result set where we have extracted the record counts for 59 dates and it came in about 5 seconds. Now let us try to execute the same query on the table that has partitions on it. If you notice that the date filter or the restrictions that we have put on the date ID field is exactly identical, that means the same set of data should be responded back from this query also. Now when we execute this query and wait for the results to come back, you will notice that the system is quite fast and we have actually received the whole result set in about less than a second. Again, to revalidate the results that we have just now received, let me first clear the system cache once again using these queries. And now I am going to go back to the queries that we have just now executed. So let us again try to find the count of records across these date IDs from the table which is not partitioned. So let me select this and execute this query. As soon as I execute this query, the result set comes back in about 6 seconds. Okay. Now I do not need to clear the cache because the second query that I intend to run is on a different table and not on this table. So the query plan is not going to get cached and used in this case. So as soon as I execute this query, which is now running on the partition table, you will notice that the same result set came back in 1 second, which is pretty faster as compared to the result set that we received from the first query, first table, which is not partitioned. Therefore, we have successfully demonstrated that partitioning a table on the relevant or the proper column based on the kind of queries that you intend to execute on that table will result into very good performance benefits as compared to a table which is not partitioned. And mind you, the tables that I have created do not have any kind of index on them. So if we try to look at the index on these tables, I do a refresh of the table list and then look at the indexes. So this random table does not have any index on it, and then a random table with partition also does not hold any index on it. So I hope that this demonstration has helped you to understand the benefit of the table partitioning function and the kind of performance benefit that can be achieved by a simple table partition. Thank you so much for watching my video patiently.